they hear me? Carol, Charity, y'all need to turn on your video. Okay, good. Thank you. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, Ms. Jones and Ms. Coriel, if you will raise your right hands, please. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call should be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, to try to save time here, I'm going to hold up what purports to be the last will and testament of Sharon Sue Butall. Do y'all recognize that as being such?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the signature page. If you recognize that as being her signature.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
After the date she made this will, which appears to have been done on May 12th of 2022, did she ever change it or revoke it?
Your Honor, this case involves, and it's in the pleadings, she actually had.
It also shows that in 23, she died in one of dementia with agitation was one of the.
There was a will done in May of, or I'm sorry, I forget the month, but in 23, and this matter's been resolved. We pled that will was invalid due to her condition at the time, and we've resolved that with all the parties, that issue, and so there's no contest.
All the letters of the Rule 11 agreements. So it's a family settlement agreement.
Well, not a family. The only family members are Miss Coriel and Miss Jones. The rest of them are not family.
Okay. Okay, go right ahead.
Okay. Miss Jones, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Can you just state your name for the court, please?
Charity Jones.
Okay, and you reside in Daytona Beach, Florida, is that correct?
Yes.
And you understand that the will, the 2022 will, names you and Ms. Coriel to serve as co-independent executors, is that right?
Yes.
And with regards to the later will, the purported will dated April 21st of 23, you were involved with Ms. Butall's care at that time, or involved in her personal affairs at that time, is that right?
Yes.
And at that time, is it true that she was in a facility and that she was suffering from cognitive issues?
Yes.
And we prepared a proof of death and other facts that we had sent you previously. Did you read over that document?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And is everything in that document true and correct?
The proof of death document?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, there's just one thing in there that needs to be fixed that I emailed you about.
What's that?
It has me as a resident of Texas.
Oh, okay. We'll correct that then. I'll send you a new one.
Okay.
Okay, great. Everything else, though, is true and correct in there?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's all the questions I have for Ms. Jones, Your Honor.
All right.
And Ms. Coriel, same questions. Just your full name, please.
Carol Correll.
And Correll, I'm sorry, we were saying Coriel. And so you reside in Lafayette, Louisiana, is that right?
Yes, I do.
And you understand that the 2022 will, the May 12th, 22 will, names you and Charity to serve as co-independent executors, that's right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I understand.
And do you agree with Ms. Jones with regards to when Ms. Butall on the date of the purported April 23 will that Ms. Butaw was suffering from cognitive deficiencies.
Yes,
Okay. And did you read the proof of death and other facts that we had prepared for you?
yes, I did.
And is everything in that document true and correct?
Well, number 9 indicates that I'm a resident of Texas and I am a resident of Louisiana.
I apparently didn't pay attention to that part of the form. I will fix both of those and send them out to y'all again.
Thank you.
Everything else is true and correct, though?
One can only wish.
Everything else is true and correct?
Yes, it is.
And then, just so the court's aware, and you were previously appointed in this matter as the temporary administrator, is that right?
Yes,
And so you understand, and we've already talked about, we'll be doing a final accounting for everything that took place during the term of your temporary appointment, is that right?
that is correct.
Okay. That's all we have, Ron.
All right, lady, so he is going to get you some corrected proof of death and other facts. You will sign those as well as your oath and return those to him. He'll E-file those with the county clerk. When he does so, I'll sign the order authorizing administration of the estate and authorizing each of you to receive authority and letters to that will give you authority to act on behalf of the estate. All right?
Okay,
Sir,
thank you.
Y'all have a great one.
Thank y'all.
thank you.
Bye.
Do you have any more?
I have a contested one.
That has not been resolved. Okay, I thought Mr. G. Cordova filed something.
He did remove one of them.
Okay, I thought that might take care of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yours, Mayfield.
Trump Mayfield. Yes, ma'am, please.
That's gonna be.
Mr. James Watson, Esquire.
Oh, let's see.
Looks like the applicant Sheila Mayfield.
This is her judge, Ms. Mayfield, the daughter of the decedent. And our witness is Mr. James Watson, who
I
was
have,
prepared the will, Lake Charles lawyer.
Ellen Anderson,
Open shows it.
production. Yeah. This may be him, Judge. I'm gonna bring somebody in and see it. It says I.
Email
This is
us,
the judge.
email it to me, and then judge signs the order. So it'll probably be tomorrow to get those letters. I didn't, I wasn't thinking about that outside. If that's a miracle, they can be had
That's
today.
Okay.
I can't read this. What year was Mr. Mayfield born? Does it say 1938
Is that it?
Yes.
That was,
or 33? I don't.
38. Original will letter.
no, that's why we have Mr. Watson. We don't have the.
Not the will, death certificate, I'm sorry.
Oh. This is,
Yeah, I think we have the original will.
Yeah,
It's just not self-proven.
that's what.
right.
I meant,
I
so
was
not
I was
just-
asking for
Right,
something. I don't know if that was better.
yeah, I'm sorry, I was thinking it was
Yeah.
a copy itself,
That is
just not self-approved.
Do we have Mr. Watson yet?
No, sir. I'm trying the iPhone, but he's not coming up.
Okay, let's go ahead and take this witness's testimony. If you'll raise your right hand, please. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this cause shall be the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Proceed, Your Honor, please. You are Sheila Mayfield, is that true?
yes.
And Ms. Mayfield, you're here today regarding the estate of your late father, Burness Mayfield, is that true?
Yes.
Sir, you'll need to unmute your line.
I don't know who that is, but we're,
Mr. Watson. So, yeah.
You are muted, sir.
is that Mr. Watson?
Okay, can you hear me?
I have-
He's frozen.
Mhm.
Is he
Are you
talking to
Mr.
you?
Watson?
Your Honor, can you hear me?
Yes, are
We
you Mr.
unmuted this
Watson?
thing. I understand that you, yes, sir, yes.
Okay, hold 1 minute.
Okay, may I proceed again?
Why don't you go ahead? He has a
Get him real
bad
quick.
connection. Why don't you see if you can do him first?
Okay. Mr. Watson, are you there?
Let me get the video.
yes,
Okay, Larry Dowden, thank you for your help this morning. So, I'm gonna hold up what we believe to be the last will and testament of Bernice Mayfield. And, I understand that you prepared this will in your office in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Is that true?
yes,
Yes, sir. And you notarized it as well. Is that true?
yes,
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to look over the proof by a subscribing witness that we emailed to you previously?
yes,
And is everything in that document within your knowledge and true and correct?
yes,
Okay. Judge, that's all I have unless you need anything.
All right, sir,
further.
if you will sign that document before a notary and return that to Mr. Dowden, we'd appreciate it. That way it'll allow us to move forward. Do you have any questions?
no, I apologize to the court. I couldn't make this thing come up on my iPad, and I know you didn't like the cell phone, but we got it.
Well, it worked today.
Thank you, sir.
All right, y'all have a great one.
Thank you, Mr. Watson.
All right.
Okay, so you're Sheila Mayfield, we're here about your dad's estate. Do you recognize this document to be his original last will and testament dated August 4th of 2022?
Yes.
Recognize his signature on the document, and he passed on February 20th this year. Is that true?
Yes.
Never amended or revoked this document to your knowledge, is that right?
Right.
Have you had an opportunity to look over, Ms. Mayfield, the proof of death and other facts that we're filing with the court today?
Yes.
Everything in that document's within your knowledge and true and correct, is that right? You promise Judge Brannick, as your oath, you'll take care of the affairs of his estate, gather the assets, get an inventory filed, and carry out the terms of the will, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, that's all we have unless you need anything further.
You'll go ahead and sign those.
Just like we have it right there. Yes, ma'am. And we're good. Oh, no, he's gonna do it. We'll get a
Okay,
second.
Ms. Mayfield, I have taken the testimony. As soon as the attorney signs his proof and gets it back to Mr. Dowden will e-file that with the clerk. When he does that, I'll sign the order admitting the will to probate and authorizing the clerk to issue letters. It'll give you authority to act on behalf of the estate. This is a guide. It explains how the probate process works and what your duties are. Take some time to review that.
Okay.
And make sure you cooperate with Mr. Dowden in doing an inventory. The estates code requires one to be filed within 90 days of the date I signed, the order.
Okay.
So he'll explain to you what's involved with an inventory.
Okay.
But other than that, he's got another hearing, so you're free to go.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
We're looking for Franklin
Okay.
Patron.
Patron, yes, sir. Proof. Patron. You're so much trouble. I hear Christmas.
And Mr. Catron, if you'll raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call shall be the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Catron, I'm gonna hold up what purports to be the last will and testament of Kenneth Boyd Catron. Do you recognize that as being his last will?
I do.
I'm gonna go back to the signature page. Ask you if you recognize that as being his signature on that document.
I do recognize it.
And to your knowledge, after the date he made this will, which appears to have been done in July of 2021, did he ever change it or revoke it?
No, he did not.
Okay, go right ahead, Mr. Stout.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Catron. I understand that is this your brother, Kenneth?
Yes, sir.
The decedent passed away on October 15th, 2024. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, and have you had an opportunity to review the proof of death and other facts that we're going to file with the court?
I have.
I believe you may have a copy of that in your possession. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and also there's an oath that you'll execute. Have you had an opportunity to review that oath?
I have reviewed it.
Okay, are all the allegations set forth in the proof of death and other facts within your knowledge and true and correct?
They are correct.
And you assure the court this is your brother's last will and testament, and you will take care of the affairs of his estate pursuant to the terms of the Texas Estates Code. Is that right?
That is right.
Okay, yeah, that's all I have.
All right, Mr. Catron, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that proof of death and other facts and your oath and appear before a notary public out in, what is that, Tom Green County?
Yes, sir.
And you are going to sign that just as your name is on there and return those to Mr. Dowden. Mr. Dowden will e-file those with the court. When he does so, I will sign the order admitting the will to probate, appointing you as independent executor of the estate, and authorizing the county clerk to issue letters testamentary that will give you legal authority to act on behalf of the estate. I'm also going to give Mr. Dowden a guide that explains what your duties and responsibilities are. He'll send that to you. Make sure you take some time to review that and make sure that you cooperate with him in doing an inventory. And he'll explain to you what that involves.
Yes, sir.
Hope everything goes well. Stay warm out there in San Angelo.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Catron.
take care.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
Citizen, who's? Okay, Mr. Rennick on citizen, Ms. Holmes.
Giant citizen.
There, you Mr. Paul?
No, Mr. Paul.
Okay. This Miss Alford?
You gotta.
No, it's Miss Alford is gonna be soon.
Oh, Miss Alford's gonna be Zoom. Okay.
I'm Paul.
Homebound, though, she's in a wheelchair.
Perfect.
Yes.
Hello?
Are you Miss Alford?
Yes, here she is.
Okay, if you will enable the video, please.
Enable.
Should, if you hover around the bottom left of the screen, there should be a icon that allows you to enable the video.
Is that it?
I don't see you yet.
We can see you.
My condolences.
Let's see.
Are you James?
Yes.
Okay, I see. Process to start. Okay. Is that
There-
it?
Go.
There we go.
Ms. Bertha, can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Scott Rennick. Hang tight just 1 second, okay? And I'm gonna get with you and ask you some questions, okay?
Okay, Ms. Alfred, if you will raise your right hand, please. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call should be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
I do.
Okay, very good. Go right ahead, Mr. Rennick.
Thank you, Judge. All right. State your name for everybody.
James Carlin, Citizen Jr.
Okay, and Mr. Carlin, we're here about the estate of James Carlin Citizen Senior, correct?
Correct.
And that was your father, right?
Yes.
And you and I have reviewed a bunch of documents that were prepared for the court today, including your application, the proof of death and other facts, the application to determine heirship. And all of those documents you reviewed are within your personal knowledge and they are correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Just a few questions for you. At the time of your father's passing, he was not married. Is that right?
Correct.
And the only heirs are you and your brother Joseph, right?
Correct.
And at the time of your father's passing, you were unaware of a will. As far as you know, you're unaware of him preparing a will at any time in his life, but we're discussing that in front of you. Okay. There is a necessity to consideration for this estate because your father did own some real property. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Um,
I'm trying to
you have any
find-
questions for the citizen?
How you turn the T?
And
Court takes notice of her report,
then
signed her order.
This call is coming.
Bertha, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hey, this
Hold
is
on.
Scott Rennick.
Miss Bertha,
Is
Miss
she
Bertha.
available?
She's coming. There
Okay.
you-
It's not going as smoothly as
Hardly does.
Okay, well, let me go ahead, Mr. Paul, while you're here. I'm gonna ask you just a couple of questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
You were called a disinterested witness, which means you have no interest in this estate.
Yes,
Give or
sir.
take. Okay, and that you knew Mr. Citizen Senior,
Yes, I did.
okay? And that you've known him from the 1980s, is that right? The 70s, okay. And that you're aware of the fact he died in June of 2024 here in Beaumont.
Yes, sir.
His residence was
Do
here,
this.
correct?
Yes, sir.
You're familiar with his family, is that fair?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you know his sons?
Both his sons. Yes, sir.
Okay, and he wasn't married at the time of his passing, right?
We was.
Okay, and as far as you know. he
Why don't
never-
you go ahead and get with Ms. Alfred? before we
Okay.
lose that video.
Okay.
We've lost it before, and I don't want to take a chance.
I hear, Ms. Bertha, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, this is Scott Rennick, can you see me?
I would imagine if you're the one at the bottom of the screen,
Okay, all right, but you can hear me okay, is that right?
yes,
Okay, and Ms. Bertha, real quick, just a few questions. You knew Mr. Citizen Senior, is that right?
yes, sir,
Okay, and you had known him since sometime in the 1980s, is that right?
yes,
Okay, and y'all were neighbors at one time, is that right?
yes,
Okay, and at the time of his passing, you knew that he was not married, right?
yes,
Okay, and you're familiar with his sons, James and Joseph, is that right?
oh, yes,
Okay, and then, did Mr. Citizen, prior to his passing, did he ever discuss having a will or ever discuss making a will at any time in his life?
no, not with me,
Okay, and then, but again, just so we're clear, you've known him for a very long time, right?
a very long time
And you're
since he,
very familiar with his family, right?
yes,
Okay, that's all.
And you have a document called Affidavit of Facts concerning the identity of heirs, correct?
yes, sir,
And that everything in there is true and correct and within your personal knowledge?
yes, sir,
Okay, you're going to make arrangements to sign that document before a notary public and get that back to Mr. Rennick. But we thank you so much for appearing here today. Do you have any questions of this witness, Ms. Holmes? All right, if you want, you may be excused, Ms. Alford. Thank you for your time.
thank you, I enjoyed the visit,
And same to you.
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Well, all of that's within your personal knowledge and that document is true and correct.
Yes, that is.
You may go ahead and sign it. You can sign your proof of death and other facts. Make sure you sign your full name or however it's typed there.
It's rare, Judge, that anybody says to the lawyer, I enjoyed the visit, so that was
Yeah, have a note.
Quite unusual. Hey, we've only got one more to go, Judge Gregory.
Are you good with us? Want to go ahead and get out of your way?
You're good.
You're good.
Just as
Good to
soon
see
as,
you.
Did you sign your proof? What about your oath? Did you sign your oath? Do I have an instruction sheet for you? Okay, so could we get Ms. Alfred's affidavit back?
Yes, sir.
I'll sign the judgment declaring heirship, the order authorizing administration of your father's estate. This is a guide you can take with you. Make sure you review that. It explains what your duties are. Make sure you cooperate with Mr. Rennick in doing an inventory. The estate's code required one to be filed within 90 days of the date I signed the order.
Yes, sir.
And he'll explain to you what that involves.
Okay.
So I hope everything goes well.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Y'all have a great
Y'all
one.
too. Merry
Why'd your brother move off to Louisiana?
I'm sorry.
Why'd your brother move off to Louisiana?
He's a plant manager over there. Plant called Olin.
Oh,
They
yeah.
make chlorine.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So, but he's in the process of becoming a plant manager. I'm sorry, general manager.
Maybe they'll ship him back here. They got plants around here.
Yeah, he gonna try to move back.
Y'all have a good one. Merry Christmas.
All right, so we got,
Morning, Your Honor.
good morning. All right. So,
Hello, is my mic working?
all right, so I'm looking for Amy Talano, or who's our applicant?
Yes, Your Honor, Amy Talano, and I see her on the Zoom call. I'm texting her and asking her to unmute.
Okay, and we got Mr. and Mrs. Rocca.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't see Miss Talano.
She's there, it says Amy's iPhone.
Okay.
We can't
Uh,
see her.
We typically do not allow iPhones,
Oh,
because they cause a bunch of trouble. We'll see if she is able to sign on. My
okay.
standing orders say no iPhones.
I apologize, Your Honor. I did not pick up on that. Amy, are you there?
Well,
Yes, I am.
Can you show your video?
I think it says it is.
There you are.
Oh, let me see if. Yeah,
all right. All right, Ms. Delano and Mr. and Mrs. Rocca, if you will raise your right hands, please. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call should be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you stop walking, Ms. Delano?
Yes. Sorry, I was trying to get to my car.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Ms. Packard?
Okay, Your Honor, I would, if we can start with the airship, I'd like to call Alton Rocca.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, Mr. Rocca, could you please state your name for the court?
Alton Joseph Rocca.
And how did you know Christian? Did you know Christian Michael Sykes?
Yes, we've been best friends since elementary.
Okay. Did you stay in touch with Christian over his lifetime?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it true that Christian died on August 12th, 2023 at the age of 45?
Yes.
You know what, Ms. Delano, I just realized it's cold outside, so if you want to get in your car, go ahead.
Thank you.
At the time of his death, did Christian reside in Jefferson County, Texas?
Yes, he did.
And to your knowledge, did Christian have a will at the time of his death?
No, ma'am, not to my knowledge.
Are you familiar with Christian's family members?
Yes.
Was Christian married at the time of his death?
Yes, to Amy Tilano.
Okay. Did you know Christian well enough that he would have told you if he had any other marriages other than to Amy?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did Christian have any children?
One child, Jude.
Is that Jude Michael Sykes?
Yes, it is.
Did Christian have any children who died before he did?
No.
Is it true that Christian had a stepdaughter that he helped raise?
Yes, ma'am, Hannah.
Okay, and if Christian's obituary mentioned him having a son and a daughter, do you believe that so-called daughter would be Hannah? Would be referencing? But Hannah was not adopted by Christian, was she?
No.
Did Christian ever adopt any children?
No, he did not.
Did Christian bring any children into his home and raise them like his own children? Other than,
No, he
let me
did not.
clarify, other than Jude and Hannah. Okay. So is it your opinion that Christian had just one child at the time of his death?
Yes, ma'am.
And you don't personally stand to inherit anything from Christian's estate, do you?
No, I do not.
Were you offered anything for your testimony today?
No, I was not.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for Mr.
Okay,
Rock.
you read your affidavit of fact concerning the identity of heirs, Mr. Rocca?
Yes.
Everything contained in that document is true and correct and within your personal knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Rocca, you agree with all of the testimony of your husband?
Yes.
And you likewise have read the proof of death, the affidavit of fact concerning the identity of heirs?
Yes.
And everything contained in that document is true and correct and within your personal knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, and Judge Gregory, do you have any questions of these witnesses?
No, Your Honor, I stand on my report. Thank you.
Court takes notice of your report, has already signed your order. Ms. Packard, you may proceed with Mrs. Tilano.
Okay, Ms.
Your Honor,
Tilano.
may I be excused?
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Gregory.
Thank you.
Ms. Tilano, can you state your name for the court record?
Yes, Amy Elizabeth Telena.
And what is your relationship to Christian Michael Sykes?
I'm his wife.
And is it true that your husband died on August 12th, 2023 at the age of 45?
Yes, it is.
Independent.
And at the time of his death, was Christian living in Jefferson County, Texas?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, did Christian have a will at the time of his death?
He did not.
And is there a need for you to administer his estate to collect his assets and distribute his assets?
Yes.
Did Christian have any real property at the time of his death?
We owned a home together, and he owned a property that he had owned before our marriage.
Do you understand that if the judge appoints you as a dependent administrator, you cannot sell that property without authority from the judge?
Yes, I do.
Did your husband own any vehicles at the time of his death?
Not in his name. We had a car that we had purchased together that was in my name.
And what would you say the value of that vehicle would be?
About $1,000.
So his share would be $500. His estate share would be $500. Is that
Ms.
accurate?
Packard, I'll let you
Yes.
take care of all that information on the inventory.
Okay. Your Honor. Okay.
You can
Then-
just ask her if the proof of death and other facts is true, correct?
So, Ms. Talano, have you read the proof of death and other facts that was sent to you?
Yes,
And is the information in the proof of death true and accurate to the best and within your personal knowledge?
yes, it is.
And you stand by that proof of death and other facts that you've previously signed and will submit to the court again?
Yes.
All
Okay.
right. So what you're going to do, Mr. and Mrs. Rocca, is you'll sign your affidavit of facts concerning the identity of heirs before a notary public, just as your names are typed on there, assuming they're correct. Return those to Ms. Packard. She'll e-file those with the Jefferson County Clerk. Ms. Delano, you will sign your proof of death and other facts in your oath, and also return those to Ms. Packard for e-filing. I'll sign the order authorizing administration of the estate. I'm going to send Ms. Packard, or we're going to email her some instruction sheets, which she's going to need to go over with you, Ms. Delano, which you're going to need to sign, acknowledging your understanding of your duties and responsibilities. And make sure you cooperate with her in doing an inventory. The estates code is going to require one to be filed within 90 days of the date that I sign the order. But other than that, I know she'll guide you through the process. So I hope everything goes well. And thank y'all so much for being here today.
Your
Thank you.
Honor, if I may, in the proposed order that I sent to you, we had a blank line for the bond amount. And so I would request that we have a $12,000 corporate surety bond, if that seems appropriate to you, Your Honor.
Did we submit an affidavit of assets with it? Let me look real quick.
Okay. As I've reviewed the assets with Ms. Talano, other than the real estate, the assets should not exceed $12,000. So we're hoping to have a minimum bond in this case if the judge requires such a bond.
All righty, that'll be fine.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I apologize. That's
right,
not
y'all
normally
have a
how you
great
do
week.
that.
Take care now.